I hired a red team to break my own system.
Welcome to the Deep
I
Dive
told them,
Protocol.
find the scam.
I'm your host, Poet
We
Woods.
audited
Now, you may have
everything.
seen my strategies
The
featured
quantum
on
consciousness
NBC,
claims,
CBS,
the sonic
and Fox
reprogramming.
News.
It sounds
But today,
like science fiction.
we're going
but when
deeper
the auditors
than
look
sound
at
bites.
the 180
As a certified knowledge
data
broker and
points,
transformational
the math
strategist,
held up.
I
The
know that
revenue loss
success
from mindset
is
failure
80%
is real.
psychology.
The orc
But as a
theory
Google
is backed
certified
by
AI
Roger
performance
Penrose.
specialist and an AI
They tried to
generalist,
debunk it.
I also know
And they
that
actually
without the
didn't.
right
It works.
systems, mindset
Hear the
is
full
just a
audit
dream.
in episode 12.
My mission is to
Link in the
fuse
bio.
these two worlds. In this episode, I've commissioned my AI intelligence team to deconstruct the code of the top 1%. We're stripping away the noise to reveal the real architecture of success. This isn't just a podcast. It's a reprogramming session. Get ready, because now it's time to think with an entrepreneur's mind. The protocol begins now.
Welcome to the debate. We are diving into what I really view as the single most critical operational failure for any modern small business. This entrepreneurial paradox. The more expert a professional becomes, a top-tier cosmetic surgeon, a wealth manager, the best master plumber in town, the less available they become to the very people who need them. Their own skill creates a ceiling.
And that ceiling, as we've seen in the source material, is basically it's built on missed phone calls, missed opportunities.
Question for today. Is deploying sophisticated voice AI, let's call them appointment bots, is that an essential, financially mandatory solution to this crisis of missed revenue? Or does this automation end up prioritizing just transactional speed over the human element you need to build actual trust? My position is pretty clear, and it's driven by the data. Immediate response and revenue reliability have to override our attachment to human-only interaction. The cost of just letting the phone ring is, frankly, a moral failing in business.
And I'm coming at this from a slightly different angle. While I fully recognize the staggering financial figures you're about to bring up, I absolutely do. But I maintain that this aggressive push toward automation, especially these voice AIs that sound so human, risks eroding the very foundation of trust, particularly in these high-stakes, relationship-heavy fields. Efficiency is great, but we have to measure the long-term cost of replacing real human capital with simulated labor.
Okay, let's ground this in reality, because this isn't some academic argument. It's a report on a catastrophe. The biggest ethical failure in a small business today is not answering the phone, period. When we look at the numbers, they're astounding. A staggering 62% of calls to small businesses go unanswered.
62%.
And when you project that failure out, these businesses are losing, on average, $126,000 a year. In pure margin, that is money they already earned with their marketing, just thrown away because of human limitations.
The urgency of those losses is undeniable. I agree. Those figures are catastrophic. You have to do something to stop the bleeding.
Lead is 100 times more likely to be qualified if they're contacted within 5 minutes. Not a few hours, not the next day, 5 minutes. And these high-end voice AI platforms, they provide an instant response, often under 2 seconds. They scale infinitely to make sure that zero of those $126,000 in opportunities are lost. And the teams that do this, they see conversion rates up to 391% higher. And don't even start with voicemail. 85% of callers who get a machine will never call back. Human slowness is just forfeiting business.
I see why you're hitting my data points so hard, but I would argue you're using a catastrophic failure, that 62% number, to justify a universal, automated solution that really bypasses strategic thinking. The technology is incredibly effective at qualifying people quickly, I'll give you that. But it also risks devaluing the service by treating these complex relationship-based sales as mere transactions. The focus becomes all about the number of leads captured, not the quality of the initial engagement.
But if the engagement never happens, quality is a moot point.
We're talking about transactions that just vanish.
Designed to be indistinguishable from a human. I mean, the blind tests in the material, they showed that 72% of callers believed they were speaking with the real person. That level of, simulated humanity, it feels disingenuous, especially in sensitive areas like health and aesthetics or wealth management. These fields are built on empathy and discretion, and the tech is offering, artificial intimacy.
See, that's an interesting phrase, but I wouldn't call it deception. I'd call it seamlessness. If the AI is so good that it performs that front-end job perfectly, why should the customer care if it's a machine? It's just a sophisticated, always-on gatekeeper. And for complex questions, the data shows 89% of customers already prefer talking to a voice AI over some clunky, old-school text chatbot. The technology is just serving them better.
But the complexity in those high LTV sectors where a client is worth a fortune over their lifetime, that's exactly where the human touch is irreplaceable. I mean, look at the evergreen niches they mentioned: med spas, cosmetic surgeons, financial advisors. That first conversation isn't just about booking a time. It is about building the bedrock of trust before someone discusses their assets or their, sensitive medical history. Using a bot to qualify assets and goals, as the report suggests, it just feels like it compromises that initial trust for the sake of speed. What's the long-term damage to the relationship there?
The quality of that initial human interaction is completely irrelevant if the call is missed in the first place. You're talking about clinics missing 35% of their incoming leads. That's $15,000 or more every single month just gone. The AI isn't compromising trust. It's guaranteeing the motivated client gets an appointment right now. We're seeing med spas that use this see an immediate 28% jump in bookings. That's $12,000 in new monthly revenue. The bot stops the bleeding, and that lets the human expert focus their very expensive time on the high-value consultation later. You can't build trust with a client who just booked with your competitor.
That immediate revenue recovery point is a very, very compelling point. It is hard to argue against fixing a $15,000 leak. However, you brought up the artificial intimacy paradox, this idea that clients are more honest with the machine because there's no judgment. And that's fascinating, but it raises a huge question for me. Does that kind of transactional honesty actually lead to loyalty, to commitment? If the client is only being open because they know a bot isn't judging them, what happens when they have to talk to the real human advisor? I'm just not convinced that transactional ease translates into a long-term high-value relationship.
Decision, digital labor versus human capital. A human receptionist costs, $45,000 to $65,000 a year with benefits? That's a massive expense compared to the AI, which offers 4.2 times the coverage, 168 hours a week versus 40 with near-perfect uptime. Relying on human bandwidth for this is it's voluntarily surrendering the future.
I understand the spreadsheet argument, I do, but investing only in digital labor ignores the strategic value of a great human employee. A skilled receptionist can be a brand ambassador. They provide personalization. They manage the office. The AI is just a filter. It feels like the entrepreneur is just using tech to put a Band-Aid on a bigger problem, which is poor operational management, understaffing.
But if the demand comes at 8 p.m. on a Friday, the human option guarantees failure.
Okay, but what happens when the caller's issue goes off script? A human handles sick days, sure, but they also handle the true edge cases, the emotional, the non-standard situations. The second that AI fails, the customer's frustration is 10 times higher than if a human made a mistake, because they feel like they were misled, and that high-value relationship could be torched before it even begins. You're solving one symptom with something that creates a deeper risk.
I'm not convinced these platforms fail on nuance all that often. I mean, the data suggests the opposite. We already said customers prefer them over text bots for complex issues. And we're talking about conversion dominance. These AI voice agents get 4.7 times more qualified leads than a chatbot on the exact same website traffic. The medium itself is just more persuasive, more effective.
I will absolutely concede the technological leap is massive. This isn't some clunky text bot. But let's look at the classic example they use: home services. An urgent pipe bursts at 8 p.m. The AI wins the booking. Why? because the human plumbers went home and their calls went to voicemail. The victory here is one of pure availability and speed, not a superior customer experience. The only reason the AI wins is because of a total human operational failure. The customer doesn't prefer a machine for an emergency, they prefer the company that actually answers the phone.
But winning by default is winning in a market economy, especially in emergencies. If a contractor is losing 15 grand a month from missed emergency calls, the imperative is accessibility. If the AI serves the customer instantly, confirms a dispatch, and triages a problem, that is superior customer service compared to a voicemail box. The AI guarantees every single revenue opportunity is captured, and in this day and age, that reliability defines quality.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree that an automated system that instantly books money is unequivocally better than a human system that misses 62% of calls and loses the business. We absolutely have to solve that operational failure.
And that's why the data compels this shift. Small businesses cannot afford to lose $126,000 a year because they close at 5 p.m. The operational imperative is accessibility, and Voice AI is the only truly scalable solution right now to guarantee that. We have to prioritize revenue reliability first. The business has to survive and thrive so it can afford to offer that high-touch human service later on.
I concede the absolute necessity of stopping the financial bleeding from missing nearly 2/3 of all calls. But I do maintain my caution. While these platforms solve the operational gap, using a system that intentionally mimics a human in high-trust sectors, health, wealth, it might be a short-term win that structurally compromises the long-term quality of your client relationships. We just have to be wary of sacrificing genuine connection for mere speed.
The data forces a reevaluation of what quality customer service even means at the start of the relationship. Is it immediate transactional success, or is it a delayed relationship-driven engagement? The evidence overwhelmingly points to the immediate success as the foundation for everything else.
And that essential tension remains. At what point does that necessary transactional success begin to erode the relational success that actually sustains a business over decades? I think that's the strategic balance every modern entrepreneur has to weigh very, very carefully.
The transmission ends here, but the construction project is just beginning. Now, I've told you to go get the blueprint, but you need to understand, I'm not just sending you there to download a PDF. I'm sending you to the armory. The blueprint is the central command station for an entrepreneur's mind. When you step inside, you aren't just getting scripts. You're getting access to the full scope of my agency's heavy artillery. The AI appointment bots to clone your sales team and book calls while you sleep. The interactive video engines that turn passive viewers into active buyers. The Dirty Dollars OS to automate your access acquisition. And even the legal architectures and biohacking fuel you need to protect and power your empire. And so much more. We have the tech, the strategy, the protection, and the protocol. It's all waiting for you behind one door. Go to anentrepreneursmind.com/blueprint. Stop playing with the pieces of the puzzle. Come get the whole picture. Initiate the protocol. I'll see you on the inside. Stay focused, and as always, straight ahead.